Record. Okay, so welcome to the Meet Your Spirit Guides class. I'm so excited. And I was just asking the chat, where are you at when it comes to spirit guides? Do you feel like you know your spirit guides? We're going to get into what I mean by spirit guides if this is a new concept. And I know the essence of who's in my spirit team. I love this comment because essence is such a good word. It's woman more like grandmothers. Yes. So technically like a spirit, a guide, it's not a person, right? Our ancestors can be, our family that has passed down can be a part of our spirit team, but spirit guides are technically like, they're not a human. They are an essence or an energy. But just like it helps us as humans in our brains to understand the concept of God and thinking him of like a guy in the sky, right? On like some throne. It helps us understand the love and power of a God figure, to think of gods, goddesses in human form. It's not actually they take that form for us to feel connected, to understand. Wow, when I got my Akashic records read, she said that Archangel Michael is on my spirit team. I thank you too, Sadie. And Jesus, Xenia. Xenia's like got the VIP service. I love that. I Archangel Michael is a big part of like my sort of, I guess, spiritual practice, you could say, because I call on him for protection, which we're actually going to talk about briefly. So let's get into my little presentation. So I thought it would be helpful to just kind of go through like the hierarchy of spirit. Now, I know this is sort of getting into spiritual beliefs, and I just want to invite you to take what resonates with you, leave the rest. This is what I've been taught by various mediums, and in my experience as well. This has, held to be true in my own exploration of the spirit world. But, there's different words we can use, such as like source, God, the universe, right? So there's no like I'm not trying to say this is how it is. This is how, we're not a religion here saying these are the beliefs, but I think this helps us understand as we go on this journey into the spirit world, and we conceptualize, who is with us, who is guiding us, to understand sort of this hierarchy. So when we're going to go on a journey into the spirit world, how we do this is through vibration. So again, if you've done any sort of manifestation classes with me, we've talked about how we live in a vibrational universe, right? Everything is vibration. And the example that comes to mind for me when I think about us sort of conceptualizing what we're doing here is if we think about sound. Oh, we've got more people popping in. Yay. If we think about sound, right, like hertz, and how the human ear can hear certain hertz, and then there's the like a dog whistle, right, and only a dog can hear that. It's such a high pitch that our ears can't hear it. This is sort of how the spirit world is. Like, we are naturally high vibrational beings, and high vibration doesn't mean good or bad, but spirit exists on a higher vibration that our physical senses cannot pick up on. And so what we're doing is we are going to raise our vibration so that we can tune in to this energy. And that's exactly what we're doing from a very like literal practical sense. What we're going to do is a practice to raise our vibration. And so when we do this, sometimes it can feel we're going to ground before, but it can feel like you feel like a little dizzy or a little lightheaded. And so that happens at all when we do this practice. You just send your energy back down into the earth. But the spirit hierarchy is basically just talking about the vibrations that these energy beings exist on. And so I use spirit as sort of a all-encompassing word too, so this can be kind of confusing, but like we'll say like spirit means sort of like a loved one in spirit, a human who has passed on. Okay, so a spirit is those you knew who have passed on, and elevated ancestors. So a part of your spirit team, or your spirit guides as a whole, we all have a different number. I have three that I always see together. And then as I've done deity work, that would be a part of a spirit team. And sometimes I've had like certain energies come in and out, but there's been this sort of like three that are always there when I do something like this. So spirit would be a reference to, for example, my mom has passed on, my mom. Elevated ancestors, so all of our ancestors, yay, more people joining in. So we have lots of ancestors, right? Not all of them were wise, loving counsel for us. So an elevated ancestor, someone who would be on our spirit team, is simply somebody who is here to help us, here to support us. And so not everyone qualifies to be on a spirit team from our ancestors. Some of our ancestors were probably assholes, right? We don't want them on our spirit team helping guide us, right? So elevated ancestors just simply means someone, and so this could be farther down the lineage. Jackie said, I feel like there's grandmothers. So these could be grandmothers, great, 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 great grandmothers that have like wise counsel and very pure, unconditional love to be a part of this team. And so that's what elevated ancestors mean. We don't want every single ancestor on our spirit team advising us all the time. Not every spirit has grown up to be someone we want their counsel, right? So spirit and then spirit guides. So spirit guides, now again, I use spirit guides as an all-encompassing term for the spirit team. That could include spirits of our loved ones, spirit guides like this, angels, etc. But spirit guides in a specific sense are not connected by family. So we might have somebody in our spirit team that is connected by family, but a spirit guide is not connected by family. They are assigned to help us through lessons, but they have lived a human experience. So this is how a spirit guide differs from an angel. A spirit guide has lived a human experience. How I like to think of this is, so I personally believe in reincarnation. And so a spirit guide is, I guess you would say an old soul who has lived so many lives. And, you might conceptualize this as they've reached like a level of enlightenment where they've been promoted and they're no longer coming back to Earth. They've been promoted to spirit guide, and now they are helping humans graduate their Earth school to be promoted to. That's how I like to think of it. And so spirit guides have lived a human experience, but they are not family. They're not connected by family. Now, this is important because when we have spirits in our spirit team who are our family, even in spirit, they can have some bias, right? They're connected to us. They have a connection. They have some cards in the game, so to speak, right? For the lineage. A spirit guide has a sort of unbiased, not connected by family. All of these energies are loving, right? All of these energies want what's best for us. But I think of a spirit being like an oracle deck. Like they're like, I love you, you're my family, you're doing everything, you're doing so good, sweetie. And maybe a spirit guide would have more of the energy of a tarot deck where it's giving us a little tough love because it's like, come on, not that a spirit's not going to give us tough love, but there's the separation, right? And so that's important for us. So we have spirit guides, and then we have angels. So angels are an energetic, very high vibrational being. Angels have always been angels. They've never had a human experience. And so there's, of course, the archangels, Archangel Michael. I've actually, if you remind me, or I'll try to remember after this, I've been reading, well, over like the holidays when I was home, I was reading these incredibly interesting books about working with the angels. One of them was archangels, and then one of them was like, I don't think it was archangels, but anyways, really cool, like how to do spells with them and stuff, which I haven't actually done a lot of, but the books were really cool. I can drop the link in the Discord if you remind me. I don't remember the names of them now, but angels have never had a human experience. That's what separates them from a spirit guide, and they are a higher vibration, right? So even within the angels, there is a hierarchy. Archangels would be the highest vibration, right? And then we have, however you like to say, the universe or God or source or universal consciousness or the infinite, right? We have God at the top of this, right? The highest vibration, pure unconditional love, the energy that's connecting all of us. And so, what we're doing today is we're going to go meet our spirit team or our spirit squad or whatever we want to call it. These are the spirits and spirit guides and angels that are helping us, guiding us, teaching us. So, and then we have the higher self, which is us on a soul level, our infinite, all encompassing self, the soul. This is us. Our higher self is like past, present, future. A way to visualize this would be like a lotus flower, like floating above you as your higher self. And this lifetime is one single petal that has like come down to live this existence. So such a small part. And so the higher self is, a part of that universal consciousness, not attached to any timeline, dimension, past, present, future. The higher self is sort of all encompassing. So how does this all make sense? Does this resonate? Is there anything that, let me know in the chat, that like you'd like to add maybe from your experience? Again, I'm teaching from my experience. I'm teaching from, what I've learned through mediumship, mentorships, things like that. So I'm curious to know, because the spirit world is infinite. There's so much more we could talk about, but this is sort of the basics. So we kind of understand what we're doing here. So let me know if that resonates. But this is what we're going to do today. We're going to go find out who this team is. So would you say they all communicate together? Do you think it's ever them like arguing on things? So that's a great question. I don't know if they argue, but they work together. Yes. And so I don't want to talk I'll talk about my experience, but I really want to emphasize that expectation can be the greatest like downfall when it comes to these things, because it's different for everybody. Okay. I'm very visual. So my spirit guides come to me as very clear visualizations, as like humans. That's how they show themselves to me. Some people, their spirit team shows to them as just orbs of light or color. And so they're more abstract. They're not coming as like human form. That's valid too. Sometimes you might have an animal or multiple animals. They're all coming into you as animals. That can happen too. And so the just sort of like letting go of expectation is really important if you haven't done something like this before, because this sort of manifests differently for everybody. And also, if you feel like I'm not really seeing anything, I'm not feeling anything, I'm not hearing anything, that's okay. It can take practice, and sometimes it comes later where you're going to start to see signs everywhere. A certain animal keeps popping up to show you that if this is one of your spirit guides, or a certain set of numbers starts showing up everywhere. So if you feel like you're not connecting deeply today in this exercise, pay attention to the signs and things that come later. But when I do a meditation like this, or when I do like automatic journaling and I'm channeling my spirit guides, so since I was little, I always had this guardian angel that I would visualize, since I was really, really little. And she's got brown, wavy, thick, long hair. She's got these big angel wings that whenever I was scared, she would wrap around me. And I always just thought I made this up, sort of like an imaginary friend. But then when I got older and I was going through a hard time in school, my mom said, and I thought she was so weird at the time. I was like, okay. But I had never shared to my mom what this angel looked like, who she was, that I was always spending time with her, because I was really scared all the time. If you listen to the podcast episode with Ariel, that I was so scared all the time, especially at night, I was constantly visualizing this guardian angel with her wings around me. But I was getting bullied in school. Thankfully, this only happened for like 1 year of my life, but it was a really hard year at school. And my mom, my poor parents, I would come home from school crying every day. I would beg to not go to school, and this was really hard on my mom. And she told me later on that I've talked about my mom before. She was always meditating. She was always doing this stuff. And she told me, she said, I was asking I was praying how to help you, what to do, and I saw this image of this angel around you, wrapping her wings around you, and she described her to a T, and that's what I always visualized was her wrapping her wings around me. My mom said she was just crying and she knew I was going to be okay and that there was nothing for her to do, like she just had to trust. And I was like, that's the angel that I always visualize. That's crazy. But I was like, I don't know, mom, like I thought she was so weird. So that's my guardian angel. And then later on, as I started on this spiritual journey and I was doing these spirit guide meditations, so my guardian angel, she's there, she's a protector, she has a more like flowy attitude, very like, I don't know, romanticized poetic nature. And then I have this spirit guide that I call Peter, and he's wearing a suit. He's giving Eugene Levy vibes. He's wearing a suit, he's got glasses, he's always kind of like, look, we really need to, he's very grounded, and he's like, well, it's good to believe in anything, but we've got to we've got to get some things taken care of here. Like he's that kind of character. So they come through with these personalities to sort of connect with us in our human way. And then there's another guy. She's usually sitting down on the ground. Her name is Beth. I think she's an ancestor. She's young. She's got straight, long blonde hair, and she never speaks. And she's always just hanging out there. And I don't know what she does. I don't know who she is, but she's always there. I always sense her, but she kind of looks like me. So I don't know if it's me from another life. My middle name is Elizabeth. I don't know if that's a connection. When I say these names, it's me saying like, do you have a name? Technically, I don't think spirits have names or spirit guides, but we give them names to help again conceptualize. So if you feel like I don't know a name, you can make up a name. I made up those names technically, like they popped into my head, but I made them up. So I always see them together. Although when I was little, it was always just my guardian angel. But now I always see them together. They're always hanging out. I feel like we have like mastermind meetings where I'm like, what's going on? So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so one thing that I think it's great to touch on if you're gonna explore this more is sometimes people can feel worried about, the spirit world. Isn't there, like tricksters? Isn't there scary stuff? Yes, that exists, but the spirit world is all about consent and it's very, very simple and there's nothing to fear. You just be specific. You just be specific. Be specific in who you want to connect to. You can still explore connecting to new energies, but just ask for protection. I always ask Archangel Michael. This is my prayer. I say, Archangel Michael, please act as, I'll say it for us today, right now. Archangel Michael, please act as our gatekeeper as we do this group Meet Your Spirit Guides meditation. Only allow energies who have our highest good in mind and unconditional love for us that are a part of our spirit teams, for those present and for those watching this replay, to connect with us. And when we're done, please close the portal and disconnect us. So literally like that. You can word it however you want, but Archangel Michael is the archangel of protection. I often pray to him. He's part of Zenya's spirit team, so we're really good today. He's definitely hanging out with us here. What kind of energy are you connecting to? Do you want to try to connect to a deity? Be very specific. And this is what I'm like, be specific on how. If you have any fears around like, I don't want to see a spirit in my home, even if it's, even if it's my grandma that passed on, like, I want to see her spirit in my home, that'll scare me. Just be, I'm like, I don't want to see things. I don't want to see things with my eyeballs. I want to feel, I want to sense, I want to see them with my eyes closed in my mind's eye, not with my physical eyeballs, please. So that's how you can be specific too. Very simple. Just ask for what you want. Protection, creating and closing a portal. This is just with your words. This is just, we're going to start a grounding meditation. We're going to open up our energy. And then at the end, we're going to pull our energy back and we're going to close that. And you also just heard me say that to Archangel Michael. You can also use physical protectors. Black crystals are very protective. Salt. Just set the intention into the crystal. That's it. Like I said, Archangel Michael, you might realize you have a specific guide that's protective. My guardian angel, I always see her wrapping her wings around me. So whenever I'm scared, I just imagine that again. I feel like I can feel it. Just you're safe, you're protected, you're in charge. It's very, very consensual. So when you're exploring the spirit world, this is important to just trust in your power, trust in your words, your ability to, you know, handle this experience. So I always like to touch on that. And we're gonna dive right in, but this is my favorite quote that is so relevant for any experiences. If you're developing psychic abilities, if you're connecting to a loved one in spirit, or doing an experience like this, meeting your spirit guides. Of course, it is happening inside your head, Harry, but why on earth should that mean that it is not real? You know, when Harry, he like dies and goes to that like dream thing and sees Dumbledore at the very end, right? Of course it's happening inside your head, but why would that mean it's not real? It feels like your imagination. You can choose to help this imagination along, right? Like I'm going to lead us through a visualization. If you're not very visual, tap into the feeling, tap into the emotion, these things. But at the end of the day, it's going to feel like we're making it up. It's going to feel like our imagination. It is happening in our head, but that doesn't mean it's not real. So before we dive into our uh our experience, I want to do a quick tour of the coven because I have so many intuitive psychic development classes in there. So really quick, I'm just going to show you this. And I thought it would be fun. And I know some people here are already a part of the coven, where you get to join the full and new moon rituals every month, which our new moon ritual is this week on Friday. And then there's this huge library I'm about to show you. And for the rest of June, except for the week that I'm traveling, we're going to be doing Psychic Bitch Boot Camp. So we're going to keep meeting on Mondays for the next few weeks. It's going to be super fun. And we're going to keep doing experiences like this where you get to sort of practice like just being in the energy of what does it feel like to be psychic? What does it feel like to tune in? And then you'll also have all these master classes. So this is a part of the coven. So that's how you join. Really simple. And I just want to show you everything you get really, really fast. Oh, of course, none of my pictures are working. Are you serious? Hold on, let me see. Oh my goodness. Why? Let me refresh this. There's like, I was doing this and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe how many classes I have taught on this. And I promise we're only gonna do this for a couple minutes. Oh my gosh. Just let it load here. Or Spirit said not today. Okay. Okay. So when you join the coven, you get these 4 things included. I'm just going to keep it out of presentation mode because I don't want to deal with it loading again. But you get the Psychic Circle, the Witch Coven, the Mystic Corner, and Basic Witch 101. Actually, I'll put it in present so you can actually see. Which is so many classes. Because I made this cute mock-up. I hope it works. Okay, so these are the classes in Basic Witch 101, Everyday Magic, which is just your basics to witchcraft. It's super fun. There's these bonus introductory intuition classes, my famous money spells. So cute, so fun. Okay, this is crazy. The Psychic Circle. There's 34 master classes in here. Look at all these. Okay, these are just the first ones. I'm not going to read them all to you, but channeled art is one of my favorite ones that we've done. Teaching about the subconscious, doing lots of automatic writing, divination, readings together. All these are great for replays. Game night, do the replay. So fun. Look at all these freaking classes. I was putting this together. I was like, good Lord. So many. So developing your clairs, mediumship, ego and clearing intuitive blocks. There's lots of good energy clearing. Renee, this is the one that you love, the energy clearing one here. That's the Qigong one. This pineal gland and third eye class is one of my all-time freaking favorites. We've got chakra classes. This is one of the member favorites, this living intuitively class. Crystal magic was so fun. There's lots of experiences to practice using your clairs to explore the spirit world. Empowered Divination was another member favorite. There's so much here. Mirror gazing. This one's a member favorite. Intuitive card mastery, learning how to really like how to read intuitively versus memorizing cards. This is a game changer, and how to create your own custom spreads. This was a favorite. Intuition Unblocked. We did a really juicy tapping and meditation circle. So this is all in the membership. Okay. All these classes, but just wait, there's more. Okay, this is in the mystic corner, the every class. I'm like, this is my favorite. Manifestation, love spells, vision boards. This is an all-time member fave, the Wild Woman Within. This is connecting to your divine feminine. This is a member fave. All of these: manifesting in the quantum field, sigil magic, abundance alchemy, passion alchemy, abundance now, release it. There's so much good stuff in here, you guys. And then some witchy master classes: elemental magic, sacred reset, cord cutting, more love and sex magic, more intuition, more channeled art, deity work, all sorts of good stuff. So the coven is $39 a month. You can cancel anytime. So you can come in for this June only, do the Psychic Bitch Boot Camp, binge all these classes, and then head on out. No questions asked. I love it. But we're meeting on Thursday for the new moon. You'll have the full moon coming up in a couple weeks, and you can get all these classes and join me on Mondays for the next few weeks to do Psychic Bitch Boot Camp and keep doing experiences like this. So thank you for sitting through that. I would love to see you there. I know I've got quite a few of you. Oh yeah, that are already in it. But let's do our spirit guide meditation. So I'm going to stop share. Okay. So what I like to do now, it's totally optional, but I'm going to light some incense and do a little energy clearing. So if you have anything like that, you can, but no big deal if you don't. Also, if you want to like light a candle and make this sort of a ritual, you can light a candle, cleanse the candle, and you can light it with just the intention that like, I like to light a candle and sort of set the intention that like this is like the little light that like is gonna help spirit find me. It's my little like flame where it's like, here, like I'm here, come hang out, but it's not necessary. So but I like to do a little something just to sort of initiate that, like, we're doing this, we're doing a nice little ritual, we're getting the senses involved. So do your thing. However you, oh my God, hold on. It's tipping over. Okay. Okay. My little incense holder is broken, so I have like a crystal weighing it down so it doesn't tip over, and it was not cooperating. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is actually we're going to move our body just a little bit, because I really want us to be able to drop into meditation. And I know that that's a little bit tricky. We're used to being over. There's roofing happening next to us. Hopefully you can't hear that. The noise suppression is really good. Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to keep my noise suppression on, but also if you have like, if you're on your computer and you have your phone, or if you have something separate and you want to play some meditation music in the background, I normally would, but I'm in Bali, there's construction everywhere and there's gonna be banging and hammering, not a vibe. So if you want to go on YouTube and search Third Eye Opener, that's what I like to do. But anything that you feel called to is fine. Or like a love frequency would be good. Anything like that to play in the background yourself, just because I don't want there to be random banging and sawing and distract us. It'll be like quiet and then loud. But the first thing we're going to do is we're just gonna, you can do this in your seat too, but if you can, we'll stand up for just a minute. And we're just literally gonna like shake and bounce, and we're gonna kind of like reset our energy and get our, and sort of soothe our nervous system, because we're all so overstimulated all of the time and it can be hard to settle in and drop into meditation. So, oh gosh, I just searched Third Eye Opener and it's like one of the top 3. I just click on it. I'm not sure. When it's the search bar comes up, I just click on what pops up. I probably have some links in my YouTube that I just kind of like keep popping up because I've used them. I can drop them in the Discord later, but I don't want to click around too much right now. But there's one with, yeah, there's all so many. There's one with like a big eye on it that's like rainbow colored. I think I click on that one a lot. But there's different ones, but I get it. So okay. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna do this for about a minute. Just turn this around so you can see me. I'm gonna just set a minute timer so that you just know whenever I don't know if you've ever led a class like this, but I'm like, has it been 20 minutes? Has it been 1 minute? I don't know. You know, we're gonna do this for 90 seconds. So literally all we're gonna do, you can't see my knees, but just plant your feet. I'm gonna take my shoes off too, but we're just gonna plant our feet flat on the ground, just about hip width apart. It's not too important. Soft knees, and just start with bouncing in your knees. And just imagine yourself, I'm gonna start our timer. Just imagine yourself first just doing a body scan. So let's start at our feet. So our ankles are bending, our knees are bending, we're scanning up to the hips. And if you want to sort of like shift the hips around a little bit, we're just scanning the chest and the shoulders. Maybe shrug your shoulders a little bit. Maybe that bounce is getting a little bit deeper now. Letting those arms loosen up, maybe shaking the wrists a little bit to the fingertips. If you want to sort of gently roll your neck while you're still bouncing, and just imagining scanning all the way to the top of your head. Now you can bounce slow, you can bounce fast. This is just you trusting your body and just letting go. And just start to really like tune into the breath and enjoy this sensation. And also I can't. Just get closer. Raise those arms up and just ragdoll them up here. Oh my God, me being busted for not wearing proper pants while teaching. And just let those arms be above the head. Those wrists limp up there. And just enjoy this feeling. And our timer is going off, but I feel like let's just bounce for just another few seconds. And actually, sorry, we're gonna start at the top of the head, okay? We're gonna pat just like this, down to the shoulders, starting up here. And you can keep bouncing if you want. Just gonna do a few pats here. Now we're just sort of continuing to regulate the nervous system, open up our energy centers. We're gonna pat down the arms, do the top and then underneath, back and forth. About 3 times each. So we're doing 6. This is such a good way to start the day. I often do this after meditation, but I find that it really helps. Now we're gonna do from the armpit down to the hip. I find that it really helps if you have a hard time with like fidgeting during meditation. It's hard to drop in. Before it can feel really good too. So before or after. Now all the way down the body. Really like, let's feel that. Now we're gonna do the kidneys. So this is where my hips are, the kidneys right here, just at the bottom of the ribs. Just enjoy that sensation. Trust yourself with how gently or how much pressure you're using, just what feels good. And then fists, right on the hips. My like hip bones jut out right here. I'm just going just below that where there's some soft. Just gonna do this. I'm really going in. This feels good. Okay, now we're gonna do the knees. So you're gonna cup your hands on the sides of the knees here. Well, count to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Other knee, the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now the top of both knees at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Take a deep breath. Raise those arms up if you're wearing pants and you want a video. Raise up. Yes, your team, let's go. All right, and take a seat when you're ready. Now, if you do have a hard time fidgeting, I would invite you, if you want, to keep standing and just sort of like gently bouncing and listening to my voice. You are so welcome to do that. I also want to say that if it's easier for you to concentrate while doodling in a notebook, drawing, anything like that, that's great. That's your form. That is a way to sort of distract the conscious mind that's worrying about stuff and go into the super conscious. So I always think of like Tyler Henry, the medium. He's always scribbling while he's channeling. That might help you if you find yourself often distracted during meditation. So if you want to try something like that, you're welcome to. So, all right, let's close our eyes. We're going to start with a little bit of gentle breath work. So what we're going to do is a breath with a ratio of 1 to 1 to 2. So I'm going to count us in. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll be slower than that. And then we're going to hold our breath for a count of 4. And then we're going to very slowly release our breath for a count of 8. So breathing in deeply for 4, holding for 4, breathing out very slowly for 8. If you feel like that's uncomfortable and you want to do shorter counts, just keep the ratio 1 to 1 to 2. So you could breathe in 2, hold 2, breathe out 4, whatever feels better. But I'm going to count us with the 4, 4, 8. So breathing in. Let's just take one, just like normal deep cleansing breath to start, breathing in through the nose and releasing. Starting our count, breathing in 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, breathing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Release 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Release 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue to count yourself through these for a few more rounds. Just tuning into the breath, allowing any distracting thoughts to just pass you on by. Feeling your body relax. Enjoying the sensation of consciously regulating your breath. Noticing how you feel and what thoughts pop up as you count through these rounds. And one more round. Finish up the round you're in. And then you can just gently bring your breath back to normal, breathing in softly in through the nose. Bring your attention to the space above your head. Imagine a beautiful orb there. This beautiful glowing orb settled in just above the crown chakra at the top of your head. And now we're going to slowly, intentionally guide this orb of light through each of our energy centers and down through the earth. So with your intention, guiding that orb of light through the crown chakra at the top of your head, very slowly past the third eye at your brow, continuing to guide that orb of light past the throat chakra, past the heart chakra, the center of your chest, continuing down past the solar plexus in your upper abdomen, past the sacral behind your belly button, all the way past your root chakra at the base of your spine. And that orb is traveling all the way down to the center of the earth. And then it gently changes direction and begins to travel back upwards. The momentum now carrying it's on its own up through the root chakra, traveling a little faster now through the sacral, through the solar plexus, past the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown, and now traveling all the way up into the sky, reaching up towards the divine. And then it boomerangs back down. And just continue to do this visualization, the orb traveling through each of your energy centers, down into the earth, almost like you're flossing your energy centers with this beautiful light from the center of the earth, back up through the root, back up through each energy center, up and high into the sky, and back down. Enjoy this sensation for a few moments, guiding on your own time. This orb of light, every time it travels to the center of the earth, bringing back with it strong, protective, grounding energy and carrying it through each of your energy centers. And every time it reaches up, up, up into the sky, bringing down with it the unconditional love and enlightenment and universal consciousness of the divine, and carrying that through each energy center, back down again, and back up again, and back down again, and back up again. Feeling your vibration beginning to rise, feeling the energy flowing in your body, feeling the deep connection to both the earth and the divine as this ball of light continues to travel from the sky through your body to the earth, through your body. And after a few more rounds, this orb of light settles into your heart center in the middle of your chest. For a moment, enjoy the sensations. Feel how open and grounded your energy is. And feel this ball of light, this concentrated energy in your heart center begin to expand. And see that orb of light growing bigger and bigger, taking up your entire chest and then expanding beyond the body to hold your entire body and expanding even bigger now to fill up the room you are in. And we're going to imagine ourselves in this beautiful bubble of light, beginning to feel the sensation of weightlessness and begin to feel ourselves float in our little orb of light, our bubble. We begin to float upwards. On our first on our first stop, we see our higher self. It's like looking in a mirror. We see her radiant and smiling with a sparkle in her eyes, giving you a nod and sending you on your way, continuing to float upwards. As the bubble reaches this magnificent landscape of fluffy, delicious clouds, we stop and we take a step off of our floating ride and we begin to explore this landscape. Walking through the clouds with the brilliant blue sky above us, the sun feeling so close and warm and inviting, a soft breeze tickling our skin. And we see the clouds begin to separate, inviting us on a path forwards. So as we follow the path, feeling so relaxed, taking in our surroundings, feeling love and peace. The clouds surrounding us behind us like a warm hug. And off in the distance, we see a gathering. For some of us, it might look like human figures. For others, it might be orbs of light or something more abstract. letting go of judgment or expectation, just trusting the experience, trusting the visions and the emotions, the feelings, and getting closer. You feel a wave of love and acceptance and excitement wash over you. And as you approach your spirit team, just let yourself focus on these feelings of love, of acceptance, of support. If you are visual, you might see characteristics, you might see certain traits that you want to take note of. If you're not visual, that's okay. Tune into the feeling and your inner knowing and trust what you find there. Try to tune in to how many energies are present with you. There's no right or wrong answer. It's simply how you feel, what you see, what you know. Sometimes the number in our spirit teams changes, so there's no right or wrong answer, even if you get different answers whenever you do this. Sometimes these guides are with us for life, and sometimes they come into our life to help us with a certain chapter. So, how many energies do you feel? The next thing you're going to tune into is if these energies have feminine energy, masculine energy, or neither. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. Try to tune into how many and if they're feminine, masculine, or neither, or both. And trust your experience. The next thing we're going to tune into is any other characteristics or interesting details that define this guide. If they are an orb of light or something more abstract, is there a color or a certain emotion that comes through, like courage or passion? Is it motherly, grandmotherly, fatherly? Is it like a friend or a sibling? If you see your spirit guides in human form, notice their features. What are they dressed like? How do they present themselves to you? Build out these specific details for yourself. It's normal and perfectly okay if it feels like you are choosing these characteristics. That's exactly how it works. Our angels and our spirit guides aren't here to make a fashion statement. They want to present themselves to you in a way that you relate to. And so we can choose what they look like, we can choose what they wear, and we can also choose their name. And so the next thing you're going to tune into is if your spirit guides have names. Again, it's okay if it feels like you're making it up. Just trust what first pops into your head, hold on to it. And we have one final inquiry, one final question for our spirit guides. And that is, as you look at them and you feel into all of these details, and you feel their love and acceptance and support, and you feel those emotions very strongly. You look at them or you feel them and you ask, what do I need to know today? What do I need to know today? Now, again, when you receive a message, it might feel like, oh, I'm just making this up. That's how it feels sometimes. That's normal and it's a valid message. Sometimes we don't receive the message in the moment, but by asking, we are opening ourselves up to receive the download later. And so pay attention to any aha moments or any signs that you receive today and in the next week or so. What do I need to know? And the final thing we're going to do is we are going to choose a sign. We are going to decide on the sign. And we're going to say, Spirit team, I want you to show me the sign to help me validate this experience and help me know that you're there in times that I need your support. So either the first thing that pops into your head, maybe this is a sign you already receive often and you can present that, or you can pick something brand new. Something that is unique enough that you will really trust that this was a sign. And if you can visualize that sign in your mind's eye very, very clearly as you can. If you have trouble visualizing, then say it in your mind, or you can even whisper it out loud. Now we are going to say goodbye to our spirit team. Thank them for coming to visit us. They're always here with us. But the energy to connect is really special that we took this time and our spirit guides showed up for us. So say thank you and bring that bubble, that orb of light back into your mind's eye or the feeling, and begin to feel yourself floating back down to earth and back into the room you're in, the seat you are in. Feel yourself drawing that orb of light back into your body, back into that heart center. Imagine yourself closing off that root energy center at the base of your spine, closing off the crown energy center at the top of your head. You can keep that special orb of light with you. And let's just say thank you, Archangel Michael, for protecting us today. Thank you, spirit guides, for visiting us. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I have changed locations because it was very loud outside, and I apologize if you could hear that. The construction around here, it always starts right when my call starts. I'm in my bed now. So if I seem a little distracted at the beginning of the meditation, I apologize. I was trying to, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so loud. But we held it together. Let me know, how did that feel? Did you feel like you experienced it? Let me know in the chat, or if anyone wants to use your voice, please go for it. I'm gonna go back outside now because it quieted down a little bit and I want my water. Wow, that was cool. I love it. Oh my gosh, and now they start sawing again, whatever they're doing, but emotion.
I went really, like, I was so relaxed. I think that the movement in the beginning, like, I was like, oh, my body was just like, whew, just shut down, was like, we're doing this.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah. But other than that, like, I think because it went too heavy, like, I kept going back and forth with like, okay, get back into the meditation, like, get back to the meditation. But I, like, at the end of it, I feel like this happens to me all the time when I figure out that, like, oh, I'm in the meditation, like, I just go back and
Yeah.
then I try to speed up. But I started getting into like the visualization of who the person was. Me personally, I wanted to call out like the figure, the either the motherly figure or the feminine figure who was helping me in my love sense, in the love area. So the person that came up was the figure that came up was a feminine figure, but she was young, because I kept thinking grandmother, but the person that came in was somebody who was young, which was interesting to me. And so I was like, okay, this is fine. And so it was just asking her for like just guidance and like what to keep doing and just going from there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Voice right. Whispering it. I'm sorry. I hope you can't hear it, but that's like ear piercing banging. Right? That is such a beautiful experience. Thank you for sharing that. I'm like, I'm not doing that at you. I'm doing that.
I can't, no, the thing is I can't hear it. That's
I
why I
know.
just hear you.
Good. Thank goodness for Zoom noise suppression. It's so good. But then sometimes I feel like I like pause when I'm doing the meditation, or I kind of like, or I go like this and here, I'll take it off for a second so you can hear it the next time it happens, because it's kind of funny.
Oh wow.
I turn it back on, but that's what I was trying to lead the meditation through. I was like, so I went inside and that helped a little bit. I was like, can they hear me? Does it come through when like I'm talking? It's like right next door they started redoing the roof. I'm like, oh my God. So that's what I'm trying to lead this meditation, but It's okay. I'm a pro now. I can lead a ritual, a meditation through literally anything. After India and the constant honking horns and the construction in Bali, I'm like, you can't phase me.
That's amazing. That was really cool. I would agree, Jackie, in like the first part, like I noticed it was almost like I was starting to fall asleep. But sometimes that happens to me when I meditate. So I don't know if it's necessarily sleep or me getting deeper into it. But I was seeing like a combination. So I had a lot. I had like 10 show up, which was a lot. And it was interesting. You were saying like picture yourself or whatever. And so I was like picturing myself on the clouds or whatever. And my brother, my oldest brother's a pilot. So I was almost picturing him in his plane and they're like cheering as he's like flying through because he
Like
like
I
takes
said,
pictures in the air all the time. Yeah. So he'll take pictures from the sky. But so that was like when it started. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was like they were all having a barbecue. And like some of them were like my relatives that have passed, but then some were like I think my guides or whatever. And then like I felt like the like my higher self was like in the corner like too. It was interesting. But you're like, well, what are their names? I'm like, there are so many names, and like they're all like walking up introducing themselves. I'm like, hold on, I can't get this all down. So like it was like Maya, and she's like an old lady, and she's like, don't worry, I've got you. But it was like I kept hearing like 6 men, 4 women. It was like you need more masculine right now. Like
mm,
you really need to lean into the masculine, but you still need the feminine.
yeah.
So it was really fascinating. But yeah, that was cool.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. You're like, whoa, one at a time.
Yeah. And
Party
then
in
you're
the
like, what's
spirit
the
world.
message? It was like, have fun, stop worrying. Like, and they were saying like your higher self is leaving breadcrumbs of like the things that are coming. So
Mhm.
I kept hearing like the breadcrumbs are being laid out, like pay attention.
Ah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. I didn't really get into the meditation this time. I was a little distracted, but like I said, I have my three guides that I meet up with every once in a while. Um, so I've had a lot of cool experiences with them, but you can do this anytime on your own. I'm going to send out this replay. You can have this. I'm not going to take it down. And one of my favorite things to do is just, you can really quickly just call on your spirit guides, or you can do a full meditation like this. But then I love to, I'm very visual, and I really like find a lot of channeling happens through handwriting stuff. And so everyone's different, but I will kind of like, before I don't end the meditation, I kind of go like at that halfway point where I'm like, they're here. And then I start writing. I open my eyes and I start writing. And then the only thing with that is just to try to remind yourself. I mean, I've definitely forgotten, nothing bad happened, but try to remind yourself to then like close your eyes and just be like, okay, pulling my energy back now, and like end it. I forget. I don't know. Nothing's ever happened, but it's best practice to do that. Um, but it's really fun. And so keep an eye out for your sign you picked. Red ladybugs have never been a sign for me, but that's what popped into my head, even though I wasn't really in the meditation. It was like, we're gonna show you red ladybugs. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. I've never seen ladybugs in Bali, so we'll see. But sometimes they can show up, on an ad, or, on the phone, on the computer, in different ways. It doesn't have to be like a literal physical ladybug. So I think, oh my God, a cartoon sun wearing sunglasses. I love that. I always drew that too. Or the little like corner sun. I love it. So it'd be super fun if you see your sign this week, like come pop in the Discord and let us know. I'll let you guys know if I see my sign. But thank you so much. And if you want to keep doing experiences like this month, we're gonna meet on Mondays, 5:30. There's the Monday, the 24th. We to be decided, but I'm gonna be flying that weekend, so we'll see how my jet lag is, but we'll still have an extra class then. But June is Psychic Month, Psychic Bitch Boot Camp, and it's just happening in the coven. So you can join the coven, you can binge all those master classes, come to the new moon and live or full moon calls. And come to Psychic Bitch Boot Camp on Mondays for the next weeks or maybe a pause week, but we'll have 4 more sessions. So it'll be really fun. And thank you all. Thanks that could come live. If you watch the replay, let us know in the Discord or DM me how it went, how it felt, who your guides are, what your sign is, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.